Hi everybody, I know I have done a Sleeping Beauty wedding commentary in the past, but this is the actual New York City Ballet version. Someone found this and sent it to me recently, so I want to take you through it. My partner, again, is Tyler Angle, and the biggest thing you'll notice about this version is how fast it is. City Ballet tempos are very, very fast. That's kind of what we're known for, but it is still the classical choreography. Tyler is one of the best partners in the business. I felt very, very confident with him. And the funny thing about this show is that I believe this is my debut performance, but I had mild sprained ankle in the middle of dress rehearsal and couldn't finish the dress rehearsal. So we did this Wedding Pas de Deux, the third act of the whole ballet, without ever having done the dress rehearsal. So that was interesting, but I just love these tutus and the costumes. Look at all the people in the back, their costumes. I mean, it's just insane, the sets and costumes in this production. But the biggest difference is the tempo. That was an interesting glissade there. I also, you'll notice, back in this time, I was dancing a little bit on bent knees. See, that knee is not quite straight. Is because my shoes were a bit narrow and I couldn't get over them. We've had that conversation before. And doing the Wedding Pas de Deux in context is so much easier than doing it out of context. By the time you get there, you're already so tired that you're not really tired anymore. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but like you barely get tired doing the Wedding Pas de Deux in the full length version. By itself, you get tired, but by this time you're like, I've already done the Rose Adagio and the Dream Scene, and I'm good to go. So here come the famous lifts. That is the more American version. Sometimes the arms in the more classical version, it's more of a look towards your hand and it's in front of you. But this was specifically the more American stylized version in the quasi arms there. And I was always really anxious to be right on the music for that pirouette. Third time, classical ballet, everything's in threes. We've had that discussion too. Now here come the fish dives. No one does fish dives better than Tyler Angle. He never missed a single one in rehearsal. I think I posted this on Instagram last week. It's all hand. Look, he does them one-handed. I got a little wild with the legs on that one. But he does them all completely one-handed. He has never missed one, and I felt so incredibly confident. And the speed for this tempo is hard. Normally they're much slower, but they really wanted us to spin fast and get down there, and it's far more exciting when it's that fast. So watch one more time. Watch how he does it one-handed, and boom. And with the girls, all you have to think of is going into a penché. That's my secret for fish dives, ladies, is think of going into a penché, because if you hesitate and don't drop your body, he can't feel where your weight is, and so you have to almost initiate going down into that penché. I didn't quite get to arabesque here. Come on, square it off, back shoulder down, There you go. See, it just moves so much faster at this tempo. It's like we're almost all the way done with the pas de deux. You are leaning up against him here. That is a cheat. A little trick there, trick of the biz. I always like to acknowledge the people sitting on the sides too. Don't just do your own thing. You know, they're the court. The king and queen are over on the right. You can't see them right now, but they are sitting over there, so I always liked to acknowledge them. Point that toe in the passe, that would be nice. Spotting front, that's balancing, and then you change it right to the end, to the arabesque. This is a moment of, you see her as you know, a woman. It's not just a queen. I really liked to have a moment there with him. You know, it's her wedding day. You can't forget that while this is very regal, it's very glittery and jewels and all of that, it's her wedding day. So there has to be a little bit of an element of romance. You can't play this too proper, in my mind. There has to be that little bit of romance. I think I hold this balance. Yes. This is my favorite part of the whole pas de deux. Watch here too, Tyler, one-handed, and finish. Love that. You're squeezing with all your might with your hamstring. That's in the no-handed fish dives. You have to squeeze him with the way you're situated. You got to squeeze with your hamstring. Also, this video is a little bit jumpy because I believe it was an illegal recording. You're not supposed to film during the shows. I'm very grateful to have it, but that's why it's a little jumpy. I don't know who filmed it, so thank you to whoever did. All right, here's the solo. This is more of the, this is not quite the classical choreography. I mean, it is, but Peter changed it, little things here and there. More arabesques as opposed to passe in that first bit. This solo is so hard because it looks so simple, and yet it takes so much control. Like right here, this section, these C zones, so hard because you're just like, I'm dying. Someone help me. You really don't have a lot to push from, and we do all ours going front instead of side to make it even harder, just because. And for me, this solo is also musicality. You know, if you're not on these beats with the violins, oh, that was a nice balance. It just doesn't look right. Here, this section, I believe I've mentioned this before. This is about her talking about how I was little and I grew up and now I'm a princess. That's the point of this step. It's also a rest step, in case you're wondering. This is where you breathe in this solo. It's your rest step. And Peter just had us change legs. We go from effacé to croisé instead of effacé all the way down the diagonal. And here comes the famous circle. I was not happy with these tempos. This is too fast for me. It's to me, sometimes I love New York City Ballet, but it's overly fast for no reason. And I just felt like I couldn't stay on it. Here was fine, but those 4 développés, it's just so fast. And sometimes you feel like, especially for me, I have really big feet, really long arms, really long legs. Sometimes things are too fast. This is totally a save. You're supposed to end in susu, but I was so off, so I just stepped to B+. It's okay, guys. You know, if you're off, don't end in susu and then fall and then bobble. Just, oh, I'm off. Okay, step to B+. That was a complete save. Here comes the Coda. This is also overly fast, in my opinion. Tyler stays right on it because he's a pro. But this just seems insanely fast. But he's dynamite. Yes. But see just how, it's just so fast. It's just really, really quick. He's a lefty, in case you didn't notice that. See this too. I could barely get to attitude. Small arabesques. But again, for me, keep it small and stay on the music. I don't want to see a whacked leg and have you be off the music. So, you know, keep it small and stay on it. Spotting front, balancing way. Even in the classics, we spotted front. This little step, always interesting. You're just hanging on for the ride and he's doing all the work. Just balance your leg and hang on for dear life. And little emboîtés, which is the last thing you want to do right at the end of a pas de deux. Ooh, our legs could totally be higher on that and not bouncing, Katie. Hello. Spotting front again. Ooh, I didn't spot front there. That's interesting. Left soda shah, not my favorite. That's all right. 1, 2, 3, 5th attitude. Love this pas de deux. I mean, classic. Doing this role, I mean, it's so iconic. For me, Sleeping Beauty is one of the iconic ballerina roles, and when you get to do it, you feel like, okay, I must be doing something right. So thank you to New York City Ballet for allowing me to do that role. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you missed my Miami apartment tour, it's right down there. You can click it to watch. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.